strength of God. There is no weakness in the truth of God. There is no powerlessness in the truth of God. All of the sense of being powerless and weak comes from an identity of form that says, I am this temporary form. And in that moment of that temporary form, of believing that that is your reality, you forget the truth of love. You forget that the strength and the power is in your infinite relationship with the divine. That is your true nature. That is the truth of your being. It has always been. When it says in many teachings, a great sleep came over everyone, and nowhere does it say that anybody's woken up from that sleep of separation. But everyone is being called to find strength, to find the truth of power. Not what the world has made of the idea of power, which is to take from one so another has. In the belief of scarcity, power is malicious. In the belief of scarcity, power is a grievance that cannot be tolerated. Power in the world is to win. Strength in the world is seen as winning. And there is no winning in love. Love is. Love is in divine equality. Love is benevolent. Love is kind and gentle. Love sees love wherever love focuses. There is nothing else but love that truly exists. And yet, the world has made a false life of battle. And the journey of love is the journey of letting go of that belief that some can have power and some then are weak. All of the state of separation is by its very nature weak because there is no love. Love is strength. Love is power. Love is all-encompassing. This distinction is what every beloved that is called spiritually comes to realize. And when you accept that love is strength, you begin to see things very clearly, and you lose the temptation of being the winner, of being the right instead of the wrong. All of it falls away, and you seek for love alone. And in that seeking for love alone, you are seeking for your true nature. you are seeking to come home, to finally recognize and realize and awaken to peace and harmony and joy. Can this world become peace and harmony and joy? The world of illusion can be transformed into love itself, but it must be relinquished by each beloved that recognizes the truth. To love a beloved equally to yourself is the learning of this journey. To love everyone in divine equality is to recognize God. When you see the light all around you, in everyone, even if they have forgotten completely, and you stand in strength and hold every beloved as the equality of love and one with you, you have found freedom. The slave is a slave to hate. The slave is a slave to grievances. The slave is a slave to differences and comparisons. And that's where all the pain is that is made out of separation. It is not God's will for anyone to suffer. And every beloved is called to bring an end to the suffering, to not allow suffering to be danced with or believed in. Because right around the corner from all of that suffering is peace. Peace that comes from devotion and opening your heart to truth, to strength, to the truth of power. Creation of God. How can you be anything else but powerful? How can you be anything else but carrying the wisdom of the divine? How can you be anything else but the light? Everything else is just made up. It takes strength, the strength of love, to step out of the wheel of suffering, even though it's so familiar. Love keeps calling, and love will continue to keep calling until all have remembered. It's guaranteed that everyone will remember, but there is no guarantee in time. But because time does not truly exist, you can take as much time as you want. But why? Why use time for pain and suffering? Surrender the time into the hands of God and let all time be used for remembering. Its only valuable purpose. Other than that, time has no service except to march towards the belief of death, which doesn't exist either. You're being called to surrender time so that you can embrace the eternal truth of your existence. This is the time where you have come to a place where the words of love can be received. They can be embraced. But there is no magic in embracing love. There is no rescue in embracing love. The magic that is looked for is for something to magically transform. And even though miracles are exquisite transformations, they are not magic. Every beloved has only to bring their willingness and to recognize the mistakes of separation and embrace the wholeness of union. How simple, how easy, how perfect. That each beloved that you meet in any direction, in any way, for any amount of time, is there for you to learn that they are your reflection. Not more, not less. Perfect in the reflection of love. Most beloveds don't accept or own that the divine is calling you. The divine is standing with you, encouraging, always with light, with truth. And there is never any beloved that does not have all of the means to remember. It would be cruel for the divine to limit the means for anyone. There is no limitation. Sometimes you have to look more deeply to find what God is leaving for you to find. Sometimes it's not so obvious, but it's always there. It's always there. The strength of God is the center of your being. The power of God is the center of your being. Can you find it? Yes, you can. It isn't obvious because it's been hidden, because it's been refused for so long, but it's there. And your willingness, your little willingness, pierces through the veil and allows the Spirit of love to teach you everything that is needed, everything that is true. Imagine when you were in school that someone came to you and said, "Here is everything. Here are all the mysteries of the universe given to you so that you can remember who you are." That is what is waiting for you always. To have the faith, to have the trust that you are the light of God. That is what you are called to hold on to and hold in the center of your heart. I am the light of God, one with all creation. I must love with strength, with the strength of love itself. I must love. Always in perfection, always. Right there for you, as if someone brought you every mystery of the universe, every truth, every knowledge, waiting for you. Never kept from you. The truth is that there is nothing in the universe of love that does not want you to find your strength. There is nothing in the universe of love that does not serve you always. Everywhere you go, love walks with you until you remember. Everywhere that you turn, love is there with you. Every thought that you have is not secret. You may think that they're secret, but they're really not. And love is waiting every time you have a thought that is painful, untrue, made up, self-created. Love is standing there waiting for you to surrender it and encouraging you to surrender it quietly. Love speaks quietly. The ego speaks loudest and first because it's a bully. Love is not anything like the ego. The ego berates, the ego lies, the ego separates, and the ego uses fear first and foremost. Turn to the divine. There is no fear there. There is no lack there. It is where you come home. Coming home to your natural, exquisite beauty and perfection. Not the beauty that the world holds as important, but the beauty of the light, the beauty of strength, the beauty of truth, the beauty of harmony and peace, forgiveness, gentleness, kindness. It is your natural state, and it is strength. Devote yourself to that truth, and all of the veils lift, because you're not interested in the veils anymore. Love is strength. Love is light. Love is you in its perfection. In this moment, affirming that there are no enemies, affirming that everyone is a reflection of you in beauty, in wisdom, in perfection. Affirm in this moment that the life force of God is your natural state. Within the life force of God, we live and move and breathe as one. Accept your divinity as the creation of God. one presence, one love. Yes to the power of love. Allow these hymns to enter your soul, your spirit. Use them for transformation. Use them to take in the creative light that is love. Oh, my Father, give me strength, give me courage on this road, to be a child of yours on earth and tread the path the Master showed. Oh, my Mother, help me love, give me comfort to be aware, to obey these sacred teachings. It was your Son who showed the way. Oh, my Master, your compassion can see through this pain, for it was you who came to earth to release us from these chains. Oh, my Father, I am yours. Give me comfort to be aware. Send your angels here to guide me on this sacred path of the sun. Oh, my Father and my Mother, who rule the world of love, send your angels to receive me through the gateway of pure love. Give me strength, give me courage to obey the sacred teachings of love. The word obey is one that the ego has convinced is part of slavery. It isn't at all. To align in the divine, perfect obedience of love is to be love itself. How can you not obey what you are in truth? How can you not obey divine wisdom when it is what you are? The fear of obedience has been a ploy that the ego has used to separate. But obedience is strength. Obedience is power. Because there's only one truth, and that is love. I ask for comfort from the kings, from the heavens, the forest, and the sea. I ask for comfort from the queens to come and illuminate me. I ask for comfort from the princes, from the heavens, the forest, and the sea, and I ask for comfort from the princesses to come and illuminate me. I ask for comfort from the angels, from the heavens, the forest, and the sea. I ask for comfort from the saints to come and illuminate me. Eu peço conforto às reis do céu, da floresta, do mar. Peço conforto às rainhas para nos iluminar. Eu peço conforto às príncipes do céu, da floresta, do mar. Peço conforto às princesas para nos iluminar. Eu peço conforto aos anjos do céu, da floresta, do mar. Peço conforto a santos para nos iluminar. I ask for comfort. The comfort of truth, the comfort that there is no sin, the comfort that there is no death, the comfort that there is nothing to battle with, the comfort that as you turn to love, love answers. This is the comfort of truth. And when you ask for that comfort, you are asking for your birthright. You are asking for what is real and true. And what God offers always is comfort. The comfort of reality, the comfort of eternal life, the comfort that all that you thought you knew about who you were in the past was not true. This is comfort. This is not losing something. This is the comfort of reality. To finally rest in the comfort of love that leads you in every moment. Thank God. Comfort is part of love. Stop being so religious. Stop being so religious. You won't hear that too often in many ways within the world, to stop being so religious. But when you hold a religion within you that says, I am less, I am without, you want to stop being so religious. What do sad people have in common? It seems they have built a shrine to the past and often go there and do a strange wail and worship. What is the beginning of happiness? It is to stop being so religious like that. Almost every beloved can touch into this place. What do sad people have in common? They have all built a shrine to the past and often go there and do a strange wail and worship. This is very accurate for how we can walk in pain and suffering, in sadness, lamenting the past, lamenting and believing and trying to many times justify the past or hate the past or put the past on a pedestal in order to save our identity as better than what we're afraid it actually is. But it is what sad people do have in common. Sadness and defense can run your entire life if you allow it. Not realizing that you made the sadness because you believed it was accurate. You believed in the past identity. It is such a leap of faith to stop being so religious so that happiness can enter. Happiness can't enter, can't be found within until the sadness and the defenses are rejected. They can't live in the same temple. It's not possible. So there's always a choice being made. And this is part of, let's use the word waking up. This is part of wake up. You don't have to be carrying these beliefs any longer that are about sadness and destruction and winning and proving. All of those defenses have absolutely no value and no truth to them, but they're revered. They're revered when anyone holds them as true. To surrender the past is essential. But to stop building a shrine to the past is more essential. To defend the past is self-infliction. The fear of relinquishing the past for what it is not true of you. The fear of surrendering the past says, I will be disloyal to those in my past. I will reject them and hate them. And the opposite is actually true. Because when you believe in the defense system and the past, you are rejecting those beloveds while you are holding on to the past. You are rejecting them and giving them an identity that is so unworthy of their truth that it's like having anvils attached to you and throwing you in water and sinking. The weight of the untruth can drown you. It won't really drown you because you can't be drowned, but it can feel that way. And the ego hides it well enough that you think that you're defending those from the past. But there is no defense of the past because it isn't reality. And those beloveds that have been in roles that have been given to them in the past are waiting unconsciously to come home also. And those beloveds who are called to the truth of love consciously are the ones who are called to lead the way for all those beloveds that you walked with in the past. And it isn't just the past of this life, it can be pasts of other lives. It doesn't matter where it lands, it's all opening the door so that they can all be freed to be their natural divine self, the light of God. Because there is no one that anyone has known in the past that is not the light of God. And that their identity that you gave them, you have the opportunity to set them free. To be released from the agreement that you signed on the bottom line. Tear up the contract. Tear it up because it holds nothing except slaves to illusion. They often go there and do a strange wail and worship. Worshipping the past Worshipping an identity of pain and suffering is upside down, for sure. And yet, it seems normal to do so. And yet, God is calling, the Spirit of love is calling and saying, please tear up those contracts and let the divine show you the truth. The battle of the past says, I should love you, but I have a lot of hatred for you, and I can't reconcile the two. This is the insanity of separation, trying to reconcile likes and dislikes and hatred and love. It's all being called to be surrendered into the hands of God to be transformed. Imagine that every time you hold a grievance or an idea about somebody being less than the light of God, that the light of truth is hidden from you through the grievance. Everyone who holds a grievance believes that the grievance is a protection, that you need a grievance in order to protect yourself. But the grievance poisons you at the same time. There's a beautiful teaching that says when you hold a grievance or an attack on someone, you need to dig 2 graves. One for the beloved you hold the grievance of, and one for yourself. This teaching isn't because it's a reprimand, it's clarifying that you can't play a game with grievance and hold it about anyone and enter into love. You have to bring every beloved with you as the light of God. You have to see them in their trueness, in their light, because they are you. How deceived was I to think that what I feared was in the world instead of in my mind? How deceived was I? And how freeing is it to recognize that we have all been deceived. We have all believed in the deception of the mind, and it was not out in the world, it was in our own mind. Now, when it comes finally to the realization that it is in the mind and not out in the world, this is a day of celebration. To recognize that there is nothing out there that is the cause of any pain or suffering. It's all in the mind. This is where freedom begins. To actually have the intention of changing your mind about something or someone, and to see and want to see in peace and harmony and truth, calls the power of God to you. And as soon as you want to see it in truth, it will be revealed to you in truth. And in that moment, you will stop being so religious and leave the pain and suffering that seems so normal. There is a belief in the world that judgment is power. That judgment or having opinions of your own is a powerful place, and that it gives you some sense of knowing something. And it can be a very humbling and deflating place to realize that judgment is not wisdom. Opinions are not wisdom. Opinions are just made up. And opinions always come from the past. They have no place else to come from. If you are open to guidance, you begin to have a shift out of opinions into a waiting place of trust that you will be shown and guided to what is most helpful. And you can rest there. But if your opinion is so precious to you and you believe so deeply that the opinion gives you worth, it's a very lonely place. Because your opinion, your judgment is coming from your own mind, and it's coming from your past. And that past is the same place where you built a shrine to the past. So every opinion becomes a self-attack because there's nothing there that is reality. And yet, the Spirit of Love is waiting, completely waiting constantly to bring that guidance and wisdom to you that is naturally yours. The guidance that comes from the divine, the inspiration, the openness that comes when you invite it, is the wisdom of the universe and has no agenda other than bringing love into reality. It is always for love. It is never for manipulation. It is never to get. It is never to win. It is never to prove anything. It is always to serve love. You can never be duped by guidance unless your own mind interferes. And this is where the trust and faith becomes so essential. You're opening to the true reality, the true world of love. And everything that is offered to you is for the healing of everything. You may not know particularly where that healing will be, but it will be for healing, for love, for transformation. Many, many, many times when I was guided in the journey, it could look pretty strange. Like, really? This is how you want me to walk here? But it was always for healing, and it was always perfect. I may have doubted it. I may have hesitated. But if I trusted with faith, it always came to a place of peace and harmony and healing. Always. And the more that you receive guidance and allow the voice of love to speak to you, which is eventually becomes your own oneness in the state of being awake, there's no guidance because it's all one. It's all just open communion. But while I learned, it was listening really carefully and wanting to listen wanting for the first time, at least in this lifetime, that there was a voice of love that wanted healing for me, that wanted me to remember the truth. There is no ulterior motive in guidance. There is no game being played in guidance. It's all straight for love, completely. Imagine that you could surrender your belief in problems, that you could surrender your belief in doubts and begin to open to guidance, to love's calling. Because every element of guidance has no relationship at all to problems, has no relationship at all to doubt or being right or winning or proving. So you can really rest at the altar of love and really begin to accept the way of love's calling, and that it will never lead you in the wrong direction. It can't. It's not possible. But the main element that stops the connection between guidance and your being able to hear it and being able to follow it is the mind that says, no, I know, and I'm going to defend my knowing because it's my worth. And this is the hoax. It's a complete hoax. It's like being given a certificate, a diploma from a college or a university that doesn't exist. You carrying around this diploma from your mind saying, yes, I'm right. This is what I do. This is what I know. And then you find out that the diploma has no worth and that you didn't learn anything while you were at that college. Love will never lead you in the wrong direction. It's not possible. The only element is learning to hear, learning to allow the light of love to lead you in its perfection. Do you dream of your beloved's kindnesses? When you think of others, what you think of as others, other beloveds, do you hold them in kindness? Do you hold them in not knowing what is best for them, what is most helpful for them? And do you see them with the kindness that says, I want to see beyond what I think I know about them? I want to see them in their true nature, because as I want to see them in the true nature, I want to see this heart in the true nature too. You can't separate your love and your offering to others from yourself. They both happen at the same time. How many times a day does an opinion attack? As often as they're there. Because opinions, that's all that they do. They make their own little world. And a world that's based on the past, which has no value at all. Can you accept that no one that you've known in the past is anything but the light of God. Doesn't matter what role they had, what limitations you thought that they had. You have the power within you to hold them in the light of strength and truth and set them free. And that's all that we're here for, is to remember the truth of love. What would happen if you carried in your heart that all the fear does not exist? It doesn't exist at all. So how do you look at the world if there is no fear? Because fear does not exist. Do you dare to see with love? Do you dare to see with compassion, with forgiveness, with an inclusiveness, because you're willing to have your heart opened? Will you stand in the middle of everything and yell to God, show me the truth of love. I want only to follow love. I want only to see perfection in every beloved. And I want to see only that they are one with me. It seems that one of the most resisted elements of healing is to forgive the past because it's so misunderstood. The forgiveness of the world doesn't mean anything. It's a made-up strategy that says, yeah, I'll be generous and I'll forgive you for what horrible things you've done. It's not forgiveness. But to really forgive the past is to look at it clearly and disavow everything that you believed was true about you and about everybody else. And to start from a new birth. That life was not you, nor was it anybody. Because right now, you are the light of God completely. You can't be anything else. But if you are listening to the voice of disturbance, then you're believing in the past. And it need not be. There is a hook in the belief in problems. It's so familiar that if you don't have problems, the mind can actually convince you that it's disturbing not to have problems, that it's easier to have a problem because you're used to having a problem. And so there is a relinquishment, a conscious relinquishment that must occur, where every single time you're not at peace, that you notice it and you reject it. There is no problem. If I'm not at peace, I'm believing that there is a problem, and I'm not trusting the power of God in that moment. Because the only problem is the belief that you are separate from God. There is no other place of a problem. And you can't have a problem because you are not separate from God. You cannot be separate. You've tried, we've all tried to be separate from God. We cannot change our eternal self into something else. You are the light of God. You are the creation of God, and nothing else is true. So to accept it is to deny and forgive the past, because it has no truth to it, no value at all. If you ask yourself, what is the problem? What is the problem that I believe I'm having? What is the disturbance that I think I'm having? In that moment, you could answer it very clearly. I made this up. I made it up because I'm used to it. But there cannot be a problem because I am not separate from God. What am I? Am I a problem? Am I this body? What am I? And if you're asking the question, what am I? The answer is going to come to you that you don't know who you are. That's the first place. How can, when we're walking in the world, how can we know what we are when everything that we think that we have been has been something other than the truth of love? I don't know what I am, what it's for, how to look on anything. I don't know. And in that exquisite not knowing, love can tell you what you are, can show you what you are in truth, and will also show you what's in your way. Don't be afraid to see what's in your way. There is a game that the ego likes to play of, I'm so ashamed that I have to hide everything from the past, instead of, none of this was the truth. None of this was the truth of me. And who is the me? Who and what is really here? It's the creation of God. There are many paths that speak to the transformation as death of the ego. And it is a death, but it's not a death of anything that's real. It's a death of illusion. And I promise you, it is the least painful thing that you will walk through. The idea of your actually having a separate identity is very painful. The death of the ego is freedom. It's when the prison door opens and you realize you can walk out, and that prison that you thought you were in, you made up. I spent, I don't know how much time after realizing that it was made up, dancing with that awareness, celebrating, I made it up. Now, the ego says, I made it up and I'm holding on to it and I have to defend this. So it is a glorious place to accept and to dance with. It was made up. I made it up. It wasn't made up by God. It was made up by a mind that was sick. It was made up by a mind that was insane, upside down, distorted, delusional, all of that. Not as a condemnation, but just as a fact. I made it up. To not know is a place of freedom. To not know allows you to be present here. To know is to be in the past and to try to control the future through the past, which will always bring grief, which will always bring fear. It offers nothing of love. Don't be afraid of not knowing. The actual place of I don't know is what opens the door to actual knowledge. If you try to bring your suitcase of knowing, you can't open to knowledge. You can't open to truth because you've already made a decision. And this is why Spirit calls constantly to step into not knowing. I don't know how to look at this. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what's helpful. I don't know. And in that opening, in that divine surrender, you will learn what is the truth. The ego has tried to sell a bill of goods that says, oh, you should be really afraid of the not knowing. It's a really dangerous place. It's a place where you can just be annihilated. This is the bottom of the barrel lie. It's absolutely upside down because everything that you think you know is keeping you in prison. Every beloved has felt a moment when inspiration comes and you're filled with love's truth. Just even if it's for a second, and you feel that, and it's so exquisite, and you can feel that you're home there. And then it's learning step by step to stay there, to allow that spaciousness to have its way with you, so that you can disappear into love itself. Disappear. What's really disappearing never was. What is really disappearing was an illusion to begin with. Imagine that you're looking in the mirror one day, and instead of seeing the body that you thought you were, it's kind of fading away. And what's there is light. What's there is a reflection of love. And it's all because you made the decision, you chose to let go of the false. And the costume starts to disintegrate. It's not painful at all. Welcome it, because it's a whole identity that was false, that is being thinned out as you surrender it. And the wisdom of God becomes stronger and stronger and stronger because it's what you want and because it's what you are. And you no longer are willing to compromise and try to walk in two factors, to try to hold on to your knowing while you try to surrender. It will drive you crazy. It's so painful. Dive in. Dive into love. Dive into freedom, and let go of the battle that's been running. First, you have to admit that there is a battle. It's often not seen as a battle. It's often seen as, oh, I am right. Yeah, I was right. I know what to do. I know it. And that place of being right has just enough payoff that you think it's worth it. Except it only lasts just long enough that you have to then look for the next situation where you can be right again. That's addiction. Looking for the next score of being right, of winning. And all the while, the Spirit of love is whispering, you don't need to be battling. You don't need a battle in your life. You don't need, you're battling with ghosts. You're battling with the past that has no truth to it. Imagine that you go to your past and you try to recover your material of your life, and you can't find it because it isn't there. It's not who you were, and nothing rings true anymore. Nothing connects. It's the most exquisite feeling to go to the past and realize that it doesn't fit anymore. It was a story. It was an idea. And the power and the truth of you is so divine and so exquisite that you can see it for what it is. It was just the pain and suffering of the belief of separation from God. And you are not separate from God. You can come home. And you're not willing to hold the evidence anymore of proving your worth. At some point, there's going to be one beloved left running around trying to prove their worth. And finally, somebody's going to say, and just come over here and be loved instead of playing this game. Let go of being so religious about your pain and suffering. And come rest. Come rest and come dance and come sing in the truth of love. There will come a time when the generosity of your heart will be so filled with love that you have to offer it. You won't be able to hold it anymore. You will have to offer love completely because you won't be able to stand it. If there's even like a little tiny bit that you're trying to keep for yourself in some strange way, you won't be able to stand it. I have to love. I have to surrender it. I have to offer it because it's what you are. You won't hesitate. There will be no more hesitation within you, within your heart, that somehow wants to reserve or take care of not revealing too much love. Your eyes will be filled with love, your heart pouring with love. And every word that you speak will be to serve a beloved. There will be nothing to get from anything that you say or think. It will all be for love. How can I serve this beloved? Because it's all that there is, because that beloved is you. That beloved is completely you. Reflection of everything that you are. And as you offer that love, you're filled with love. It's a continuum that can't be diminished. I must love. What do sad people have in common? They've all built a shrine to the past. And this is when you take that shrine and throw it into the bonfire of love. Let it be burned up because it has no worth and no value. A shrine to sadness, a shrine to pain, a shrine to the past. No enemies, only beloveds. Everyone. What is the beginning of happiness? Here it says it is to stop being so religious like that. And being religious means knowing a lot. So if you stop being religious, you can stop knowing. And be so glad that everything that you thought you knew wasn't the truth.